Yep, I can't believe it either. I posted a YouTube video. I am back on YouTube and I am happy to be back. It's been a while since my last post. Setting up my whole YouTube setup felt very abnormal yet normal at the same time because I've done this hundreds of times and I wanted to chat with you and give you a little update before we get back in the swing of things, of sharing, of posting, etc. So it's been a couple of months. It's like the whole summer since I last posted on YouTube, and there's been a lot going on. If you followed me in, I think it was 2020 when the Lord started speaking to me about lasting impact. And that comes from John chapter 15, verse 16. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. So this all has to do with everything that's been going on in the last couple of months. Fruit that will last and lasting impact. The Lord has been talking about that with me over the last few years, of really diving in deeper, of going deep, of unpacking topics in a deeper way. And that's why I released Navigating Engagement and Navigating College. And for the past few months, the reason I haven't been able to make YouTube videos is because I've been writing Navigating Motherhood. When I write one of my series, it takes months and months. It's like writing a book. Books are like 30,000 words and over, and my video series, when you have like it all written out, it's like 30,000 words or more. And so it's like writing a book, and so it's like writing a book, and books take months and months for me to write because I'm still essentially a stay-at-home mom. So I'm with the boys all day, every day, and the time, for the most part, that I get to work on anything like a video or a book or anything like that is at nap time. So typically that's like an hour and a half, and that's most of the time that I get. So pouring my heart into Navigating Motherhood has been so good and so beautiful. There's so many books, and I explain this in Navigating Motherhood, so many books on motherhood, but what I really needed was a heart to heart. And that's why I wanted to not write a book, but make it videos. So women who are, just into motherhood or they're pregnant, they can just sit and listen and be and have that heart to heart kind of feel and really unpack the topic deeply. Now, a lot of social media is 7-second clips. That's what TikTok has made it. I'm not on TikTok. I've never been on TikTok a day in my life, but I know that people's attention spans and all of that is getting so short. And I'm trying to do the opposite. Like, the Lord is calling me into the opposite to say, we're not going 7-second clips. We're going 2.5 hours of dumping out your heart and digging in really deeply, like building a well. You got to go so deep. And that's what the Lord is inviting me into, that fruit that will last. And so that is what I've been doing over the last few months, has been writing Navigating Motherhood. And I've so enjoyed it. I so enjoy making a series like Navigating Motherhood because I get to discern what are the topics that I think the women need to hear most, and what, like, the unpacking of that topic and praying about it and just really listening to the Lord about what He wants me to share with women, like His heart for that subject and the ways that He wants to use me to communicate that to women. So that's been amazing. But this whole short kind of clip life, it's just so not me. And if you saw, I posted on Instagram in the beginning of the summer about how I just feel kind of not like I don't belong, but I just feel out of place, not in a bad way, in this like sea of 6-second clips and just like really quick everything. I'm a woman who loves long conversations and the depths of the heart and sitting with you. Like, I would love to sit with you for 3 hours and just talk about the heart rather than this quick, instant kind of culture. I have felt myself kind of just have this aversion to the immediate in our culture and this deeper longing for just like slow, intentional community building. I don't know if you kind of feel that in your own heart. You can let me know in the comments, but kind of this this resistance in my own heart as a person who loves depth and loves real, deep, authentic vulnerability and connection, this resistance to this like short clip life, Another thing that I talked about on Patreon recently are the two C's of our culture that I see coming up so much, that I also feel myself just in my own heart and in my own life and in my own walk with the Lord starting to like recoil from is, I think our culture is defined by two words, critical and combative. Let me know if you agree. And this isn't even just in social media. It's a lot in social media. It feels like people are constantly looking for something to be angry about, right? Outrage culture. People are constantly looking for, what can I criticize? Who can I criticize today? Whether that's a mom who's sharing about this or a person who's sharing about this, that, or whatever. Who can I criticize? Because many people are so deeply unhappy and they are taking it out on other people. People who want to be right, who want to prove their point, who are arguing about this, and that. And then combative. Like so often, you see people in person, right? I don't know if you see people in person where you live, but we went to a restaurant and there's a sign there that says, our employees are doing their best. Please treat them with respect. And I'm like, how sad is it that we have to have signs that say that? Please treat our employees with respect. It's amazing how far our culture has fallen. This selfishness that is at the forefront of so many people's hearts, mine included in many different ways that I'm trying to look at and root out. Just this culture of people wanting what they want when they want it, and respect going out the window, and kindness going out the window, and gentleness going out the window. And the concept of like, I'm treating this person with a lack of respect and I have no idea what they're going through. This reality that everybody is carrying burdens. And if we could all just say, we're all going through a lot, like let's treat each other with kindness, things would go a lot better. But I feel myself in my heart, right? And we're told to be a light in the darkness. And you know that I believe that 1000%. And I try to live that with my life and do that with my life and, do that with my whole life. I'm exhausted of just the critical nature of people in our culture. I'm exhausted of the combativeness, of the anger, of always looking for a fight or, whatever it is. I'm just tired of it. And I don't know if you are too. Maybe I'm the only one who feels this way, and that's okay if I do. It's okay to be the only one who feels any way about anything. That's why the Lord has just been inviting me, like, okay, this is fine. We're on this journey together, and I want you to look at the culture and see it for what it is, still be a part of our culture, still sharing and all of that stuff, but really looking at, okay, how can you bear fruit that will last, right? In ministry, in my home, for sure. All day, every day, I'm with the boys. I'm pouring into them, loving them, rejoicing with them, shaping them, molding them, disciplining them, all that stuff. Jedediah just turned 2 years old, which is crazy. For Jedediah's whole life, however old he is essentially how far away we are from 2020. So when he's 25, it'll be like, oh, 2020 was 25 years ago, which is it's just so funny to think about, all those 2020 babies. And he's like closer to the end of 2020. So he's 2 years old and pouring into my home, into my marriage, into Daniel, who's going to come back on the channel as well. Bearing fruit that will last in my home and in my children has been such a joy, such a trial. There's so many different like beautiful parts of motherhood and challenging parts of motherhood, but pouring my heart in there to bear fruit that will last in my home and in my vocation as wife and mother and daughter of God. But I'm speaking specifically to ministry, of the Lord inviting me to explore that, what fruit will last. And in looking at the engagement, right, women who have been a part of navigating engagement say that it like transformed their experience of engagement. And that is just such a beautiful thing. And that's not like, oh, I'm so great, I made this beautiful thing. That's what I wanted for women. I want to offer in-depth guidance and direction and support for women that I felt like I needed. Even though I have a wonderful, amazing mom and a wonderful, amazing sister, there are just these specific things that I think it's easy to just forget if you don't intentionally think about them and process through them and look at them. And that's why I'm creating things like this for navigating motherhood, right? And I'll share more about this later on. It's not it was looking at like, I'm not an expert mother, right? That's not it at all. But looking at the early parts of motherhood, right? What I needed to hear in the first year, because women who have 18-year-olds, they know so much more about motherhood than I do. But if you ask them like, what was it like in that first year? It might be a little foggy. For me right now, when the Lord started putting on my heart, like, I want you to go in depth and really dive more deeply into motherhood and helping, bear fruit that will last in those efforts. He said to me really clearly, you have to do it soon or you're going to forget. Like what it was like, the nitty gritty, what I needed to hear when Zion was 8 weeks old. And I was like, what is happening in my life right now? Next month, my newest children's book comes out and I'm so excited about it. I'm very passionate about giving our children tools to have in their toolbox to live out their faith in a practical way. That's what I wrote God's Brave Boy and God's Glorious Girl. I wanted that practical tool of the identity, like children understanding, and not only understanding, memorizing their identity, because children memorize children's books. And then this was creating a story about a little girl and how she finds her courage in Jesus, because I think courage, you may be like, preach, is one of the things that people of faith need most today. We need a lot of different things, but courage. And courage is something that every person who follows Jesus has needed throughout their whole entire lives, throughout history. But right now, courage is so necessary. So this is a story about a girl and finding courage in Jesus. And that's going to be out in November. I am so excited to share more about that with you. Other than that, that's the roundup. That's my heart. I, again, will be back doing this more frequently now that motherhood is behind me, not motherhood for me, navigating motherhood. I will be sharing more and I'm excited to hop back in and continue in this way, one YouTube video at a time, to encourage you and support you and uplift you and embolden you in courageously living your faith, becoming the woman that God created you to be, or man that God created you to be. I know some of you men are watching and some of you men enjoy when Daniel is on. So Daniel will be back as soon as possible as well. Until then, keep your heart up. If you made it all this way, thanks for listening. I am so grateful for your support, for your love, and for so many of you who say that you pray for me. Thank you so much. It's so needed and so appreciated. Anyway, as I always say, that's all for today. I'll talk to you soon.